What's up, guys, and welcome to episode number 25, Take on New York Sports. I'm recording this live on Podbean, Friday, March 12th, 2021. I'm Anthony Heaton here with you. Twitter, Instagram, Take on NY Sports. And we are going to get this live episode. We're going to kick it off with the Rangers. And I don't really know where to start. We can go to goaltending. We can go to the head coach. We can go to lots of things. Let's start with the coach. Now, I understand he's in a tough spot. With the shortened season, they're in a very difficult division. He's overthinking things, I think. And I think the line juggling has to stop. You have to, isn't this for what practice is for? You're supposed to kind of, work out the kinks and do all that sort of stuff in practice. It seems like 3 minutes into the game, whether we give up a goal or not, which we seem to have, we have been giving up goals early, but he seems to just automatically start juggling the lines. And I don't see how that's beneficial to the team in any way. He basically, I don't know. He's trying to find that right mix, and so far it just hasn't worked. I mean, the last show I had was right in between the Rangers, the 2 victories in New Jersey, where they looked really good, and then you drop 2 straight in Pittsburgh, who we've gotten 1 measly point in 4 games against Pittsburgh. I mean, that's just brutal, and that's a team. That signifies a team that's not going to make the playoffs. And that's us right now. 9 points out of a playoff spot. At this rate, we're not even going to sniff the playoffs. And then the embarrassment last night against Boston. That game was over when Boston scored that first goal. And you can just feel it. Obviously, Halak has been like, I don't know, who do you want to say? Patrick Roy, Marty Brodeur, Dominic Hasek against the Rangers. He just owns us, absolutely owns us. And like I said, once they scored that first goal, that was it. And then I think Georgie let up all four goals on 14 shots. Yeah. Now, I know there's been tons of talk with Georgie, right? What is he? What's his role on this team going forward? And I said it from the beginning. I like the kid a lot, okay? He's a very good goaltender. He filled in admirably for Lundqvist when he was hurt, and, he's been a decent goaltender. He's not a number 1. And if he is, he's a number 1 on a bottom tier team, bottom half of the league. That might be tough for some people to hear and, grasp, but that's just the fact of it. And I know he's not making a ton of money, but, having, not to say that Keith Kincaid has been, he hasn't been anything really. He's filled in decently. Okay, fine. But he's exactly the kind of backup we need for Igor. Now, I know the situation right now, Igor's hurt. He's working his way back. He should be back soon, hopefully. But the fact of the matter is that's the kind of backup we need for Igor. Cheap, veteran, and, when he has to start, he'll give you a decent start. You know what you're going to get from him. You're not going to expect the world, but, he'll be decent. And yeah, has Georgie had flashes of brilliance? Yeah, he has. He's had, plenty of games where you're like, wow, this kid could be, incredible. But he's just way too inconsistent. And again, not everything is his fault. The defense has been sloppy at times, too many turnovers. But he's let in way too many soft goals. I understand as a goaltender, you're going to, You're gonna give up a cheap one here and there, that's fine, but it seems like he does it on a consistent basis, and when you're a team that's not scoring especially, like I said, that one goal that Boston scored, it was like, okay, boom. You can just see the air was taken out of, or the wind was taken out of our sails, you could say, as soon as they scored that goal. And then it just snowballed from there. 2, 3, 4, nothing. You're not coming back from that. I don't care how much time is left in the game. And we just weren't able to do anything. Um, like I said, 9 points out of a playoff spot at this point. And again, our division is what it is. The circumstances are what they are, and we have to play, just our division. And, you know, you can't, I hear people saying too, like, oh, the Islanders are, 4-0 against Buffalo this year, whatever it is, or 5-0 now at this point. But it doesn't, listen, we're playing Buffalo the same amount of time. You know what I mean? Like, you have to just play who's on your schedule. You're never going to apologize for beating a team. The Yankees beat up on the Orioles 18 games out of 19 last season. The season before. What are you going to do? You're going to give back those wins? No. You play who's on your schedule, and that's it. But yeah, it doesn't get any easier for them. They got the Bruins again, then the Flyers twice, then Washington, then Buffalo, then Washington, then it's going to be next to impossible for them to make the playoffs. I know Panarin's hopefully going to be back tomorrow, but he can't do everything. And like I said, 9 points out of a playoff spot right now with Boston playing well as usual. The Penguins, who are, that's a surprise to me that they're playing as well as they are. Washington as well. And then the Islanders, first place, 38 points. And I mean, what can you say about the Islanders? They've been one of the most consistent teams over the last, 4 or 5 years. We'll see how they deal now with losing their captain, as Anders Lee is out indefinitely with a lower body injury. So we don't know how long he'll be out for. He's also, besides the captain, he's leading the Islanders with 12 goals in 27 games. He played 295 consecutive games. Obviously, that streak's going to come to an end, but they're just, and again, you can't just say it's all Barry Trotz, but at the same time, Barry Trotz is one of those coaches that gets the most out of every single player. To me, let's use Brett Howden, for instance, right? He looks like a bum right now, okay? If he was under the coaching of Barry Trotz, I think he's one of those players that, I'm not going to say he's going to flourish, but, he'll be way more consistent of a player than what you're seeing here. And, Quinn was brought in because we were such a young team and, all these people, obviously he was a college coach and everyone was saying how he's great with kids and he's, again, this is the NHL and I understand it takes time to develop kids and they have to learn, they have to mature and all that. But I mean, time's a wasting. And especially this season, just, whatever, you want to throw it out the window, throw it out the window. Let's regroup for next season. But I don't see him, and I didn't see him coming in, and I certainly don't see him now as the guy who's going to lead us to the promised land. I wasn't against the hiring because you really didn't know. And sometimes you got to take a chance with what you feel is right. And so far, it just hasn't worked out. And I don't know what else can be done, but to me, the biggest thing is just the line juggling has got to stop. It's just, it's so inconsistent, the lines. And I know the defensive pairings for the most part have stayed the same. Minus like Hayek and Jack Johnson kind of interchanging. But the forward lines, it's just, and how can you possibly move Brendan Lemieux up and, put Alexi Lafreniere down? I don't care if, and it was only a few minutes into the game too. I don't care if the kids had an awful period. You got to let them play, Who's going to be more valuable to this team going forward? Lafreniere or Lemieux? No offense, Pepe, but you know, I like him. He's a decent player for what he is, but he's not a skilled player that we're gonna need. And he's much more replaceable than the potential of a Lafreniere. And for Quinn to just, I don't know, he's just, again, he's trying to be cute, and he's pulling the trigger way too quick. And I don't know. It's again, this season's all but lost at this point. So you can only, I don't know, just see what you can make out of it, because at this point we've played 25 games, so we're almost at the halfway point. And again, um, -3 on the goal differential. And obviously, just the last three teams in division, us, the Devils, and the Sabres, are negative. Everybody else is positive. Even the Kata Hot Flyers have a +1 goal differential. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's tough because we have Mika, who's playing better. He's still, you can see the efforts there. He's just not burying the puck, and that's what we need him to do. And again, now Crowder's doing his thing. Bush is playing really well. But again, you get that, bottom six, and everybody's always moving around and everything. You can't get into a consistent flow. And, now it's going to happen in what, 10 to 14 days when Kravtsov comes back, because his team was eliminated now. So, he's going to slot right in somewhere in the lineup. And he's one of those kids who, with the way he's been playing, I know it hasn't been NHL level, but, you want to give him a top 6 spot. I mean, without a doubt, he's got to be top 9, but, how much playing time and everything is that third line getting under Quinn? Not much, not enough. And then it comes to the point where, okay, what do? You keep Zibanejad, Bushnevich, and Laugh on the first line. Panarin's back now, so you got Panarin, Strome, and Kako. I don't know. But you hear David Quinn saying that he wants Laugh, Heedle, and Kako to become a line. Don't force it if it's not there. Yeah, it'd be great to have the three young kids, on a line dominating, but don't force it if it's not there. Take the time and practice, find out who's gelling with who, and that's it. Panarin and Strome have always been good together. What are you going to do at that point then? If you're going to put Kreider down to the third line, your best player, he's been the most consistent player. I don't know. I don't see it. I don't know. Again, it's tough. It's tough decisions that Quinn has to make, but they are decisions he has to make, and that's what he gets paid for. And he damn well better make the right decisions and fast, because as we all know, us Ranger fans, we don't have patience. And if we miss the playoffs this year, that's going to be 4 straight years. And that's not, we're not like, especially when the Islanders are doing their thing and they're in the playoffs and they make it to the conference final, and they're, and you see how, just how solid of a team they are up and down the lineup defensively and everything. It frustrates you. And something's got to change, and it's got to change quick. And again, not expecting anything this season, because it's all but basically over at this point. And, not that you were expecting much from this season anyway, but, we have to, I don't know. We have to make it, we have to make something out of the season. It has to be something to look forward to in October when we, hopefully start the 2021 season on time. And again, it's not, it doesn't look good. And Igor, please hurry back. If for no other reason than get your work in this year to be ready for next year. Because, we got to give him a hefty workload next year. He's going to have to almost be And again, I know it's not the norm anymore, but, like Lundqvist was in the prime of his career, playing 65, 70 games. He's gonna have to do that. And you can see the more he plays, he gets in a groove. And, right before he got hurt, he was in that groove. And who knows, maybe we would have won a couple of these last, few games and things would be different right now. But again, you don't know that, but he needs to play as much as he can possibly play and, see and just get ready for next season. And if, we have to trade Georgie or just, reduce his role or whatever it is, then that's what it is. Um, so yeah, Rangers falling, Islanders, they're cruising, doing their thing in first place. Um, so I'm sorry, my wife just entered into the live studio. So, um, but anyway, we'll see what becomes with the rest of the season for the Islanders, and they look legit, and they have a really good 1-2 tandem in net with Varlamov and Sorokin, and they're a very good defensive team. They're great in the neutral zone, and that's almost as it sickens me to say this, but that's almost a team that the Rangers have to model themselves. You know, try to be like them. I know it's disgusting. I'm almost throwing up right now, but you got to give them the respect they deserve, and that's where they're at right now. And again, led by a great coach and Barry Trotz. And I don't know if Quinn's the answer for us, and it certainly doesn't look like it. We're gonna switch gears a little bit, talk a little baseball. As Jameson Tyone got the start today, and he continues looking good in spring training. 2 2/3 innings today. Did give up 2 hits, 3 walks, which you don't like to see. But again, he's working out the kinks. But he also had 4 strikeouts. Um, you know, Gardy with a hit today. Jay Bruce, who is really making it difficult on Aaron Boone and the front office, I guess, because you have, you're starting 3 outfielders. You have Judge, Hicks, and Frazier. Okay. Hicks and Judge, they're, um, you know, I don't want to say injury prone yet, but they can't stay healthy consistently. So you got Guardy as your fourth outfielder. Now, as a bench player, you almost want to have that hybrid player, which unfortunately is like a Tyler Wade, because you can literally put him anywhere on the infield and he can play the corner outfields as well. So God forbid you get late into a game, you got to make a defensive change, and you know, you got to kind of shift things around. You need that versatility of an infielder slash outfielder. But Jay Bruce's swing, we know, is tailor made for Yankee Stadium. And so is Derek Dietrich, who's also had, he's been hitting a couple balls. He's had a decent spring. And both of them can back up first base. So that gives them a little bit of versatility. They're not going to play anywhere else besides an outfield spot or first base. But Tyler Wade, to me, yeah, he's got speed, which is fine. But he doesn't do anything ever. He's always been great in the minor leagues, and he's come up and just, I don't think he's ever batted it higher than 200. And we can't have, I know we have the extra player this year again on the bench, but to me, we just can't have that dead weight, where, yeah, great. He's a good defensive substitution late, but I don't know. I mean, I don't, I see him making this team, unfortunately, but then you go again to, what do you do? I don't see Dietrich and Bruce making the team, so it's going to be one or the other. And, then one of them would basically have to get, released or designated for assignment. So I don't know. It's a tough call, but Jay Bruce was going to be part of this team a few years ago as the Yankees wanted him and the Mets wouldn't trade him to him because they were, I don't know, God forbid he goes to the Yankees and the Yankees win a World Series. So instead he went to Cleveland, but he's got that very smooth Robinson Cano-esque swing, which again is perfect for the short porch from right field. But I don't know. It's getting down to crunch time now. 3 weeks until opening day, and Booney's got some roster decisions to make, and it's interesting to see which way they go. And I look forward to it. As far as the pitching side, Cole's doing his thing. Kluber's looked really good. Tyone's looked very good. You figure Monty's going to slot into that fourth spot, and then Herman's looked, really good. He looked like the pitcher of 2 years ago when he won 18 games or 19 games, whatever it was. And again, we're going to need 6, 7, 8, 9 starters. We know that. That's just during a regular year, but this year especially. So you got to figure Schmidt's going to get a start once he comes back, a few starts. Garcia's going to get some chances. Herman definitely. But I think if you're starting the gate with the first 5, it's got to be Cole, Kluber, Tyone, Montgomery, and Herman. That's just, that gives you your best chance to win, in my opinion. And then that brings you to the bullpen. Zach Britton with the elbow issue. He had surgery. It was, successful. And he's going to be out. I don't even think he's throwing for like another month. So you got to figure him maybe around the same time Severino comes back, sometime in the summer. Which, speaking of Severino, then, he's going to hop in. And again, he's not going to throw a ton of innings this year, but he's going to be an important piece of the rotation as well. And, Chad Green, obviously, Chapman. And then you got Darren O'Day because, no more Ottavino. And then Justin Wilson, which, yeah, he gave up a couple home runs the other game, but I think he'll be fine. He's played in New York, both sides, Mets and Yankees. So he'll be fine. But, losing Britton is huge because he's our 8th inning guy. He's our number 2 closer. And, he has that sinker ball, which, when you need a ground ball double play, he can come in, late in the game and give you what you need. So hopefully he has a speedy recovery. He comes back and, he is who Yankee fans are used to seeing him as. But other than that, yeah, I mean, I can't wait 3 more weeks. I can't wait to see Judge out there, Stanton out there, hopefully healthy. I'm sure as you've all seen, Stanton hit that bomb the other night. And I mean, that thing came off the bat, I think 118 miles an hour. It's just the power he has is just, it's incredible. It's sick. And, him and Judge staying healthy, I think they're both going to have big years. Glaber's going to have a bounce back year. Sanchez is going to have a bounce back year. And, hopefully Voit now, I know he has a little lingering knee injury. I mean, the guy played on freaking 1 foot last year, for God's sake. So hopefully health. That's the number 1 priority for the Yankees. And, I think if we stay healthy, we got this division. And then again, once you get to the playoffs, all bets are off. Anything can happen. That's just the way it is in baseball. But in some other news, Nick Marchakis retires, 15-year career. He was a good player, very solid player. Spent a ton of years in Baltimore. Finished up in Atlanta. He was, never a superstar, but he was always a very good player. Great defensively. So he had a very nice career. So, congrats to Nick Marchakis, 15 years. And, he's off into retirement now. As far as the Mets go, Francisco Lindor, they are beginning the contract talks. And he basically said, not basically, he did say, when they were speaking to him about who do you think is the best shortstop, basically, he said, in all honesty, me. And you can't blame him for saying that or thinking that. And he's definitely right there, top 2 or 3. Um, but that's gonna be, the Mets are gonna have to pay him, obviously, as the number one shortstop in the league. Um, and you see these astronomical deals that are going out there. You saw what Tatis got, 13-year deal, and it's just, I know it's a new era of Mets baseball and Mets ownership with Stevie Cohen, but it's always, and again, I should talk as a Yankee fan with all the ginormous contracts we've given out, but it's always scary, especially, um, a player, a superstar like Lindor, and he is a superstar, um, coming to New York. He's been in the small market team over in Cleveland, and, to me, I don't know if it's my money, my decision. I would really like to see how this season plays out. But again, you're going to take a risk then because he hits free agency, all bets are off. You might have just traded everything for him for one season as a rental, and that would sting as a Met fan. Um, unless their plan maybe is to go after Trevor Story next year or whatever. But we'll see how the Lindor contract talks play out. But the Mets they're going to be fun to watch this year too. As you saw DeGrom the other day, hit 102 on the gun. Listen, him and Cole, we're lucky as New York baseball fans because we have the top two pitchers in baseball. You could debate back and forth all you want. Who's one, who's two? Who the hell cares? Okay. They're the top two pitchers in baseball. And I mean, I think DeGrom pitched 3 innings last game and 7 strikeouts out of the 9 batters. He's just, when he's on, he's literally unhittable. And he's incredible to watch. And you got to respect the hell out of him. He's a tremendous pitcher. And again, him and Cole 1 and 1A. You could debate it all you want. But we're spoiled as New York baseball fans that we get to see them on a consistent basis. All right, so that's it for now. We're not going to touch on the A-Rod and J-Lo saga. I was going to open with that today. Obviously, it's a joke, but as they call off their engagement after 2 years or whatever it was, whatever. It's not, I get the notification today and it's like, I was almost a little surprised, to be honest with you, just because, with all the celebrity crap, everybody's, they just get, I know they're not married, but I know everybody gets married and get divorced like it's going out of style, whatever. But I don't know. I was fooled a little bit. I thought that maybe, they had what it took to last, but whatever. Regardless, that's the end of that. Good thing for Met fans, they didn't buy the Mets because, oof, I mean, that's all you need, right? You're two flashy, rich owners like that, splitting up, and then they got to divide the assets and whatever. And again, I know they're not married, but they did have a bunch of stuff that they, they purchased together and everything. So, yeah, well, Met fans, you got the right guy, and luckily for you, Cohen bought the team, and he's got the money. He wants to spend it. He wants to win, and we'll see what happens this season. But follow the show on Twitter, Instagram, Take on NY Sports. Up to date on everything, all the live shows, and every podcast episode is out there. Podbean, Apple Podcasts, wherever you get your podcasts. And until next time, guys, be well.